the state of the game, August 2023 for Destiny 2. And as somebody that was incredibly addicted at Season of Arrivals the last 2 weeks when I got into it, again, going into Lightfall, going into Season of the Defiant, and just seeing the decaying state of the game, the decaying state of the servers. Personally, I have issues with Bungie. I don't know how to bring them up personally with Bungie. I think I might have to do a ticket on server security, debating if I need to request my information from them or not, just due to server issues. We have this state of the game. This is from Destiny. This is on Bungie.net. This is the official Bungie statement on the state of the game. So let's get into kind of what they're saying here, because I feel that this is going to have answers that we need and answers that a lot of the community actually do deserve. So, state of the game, August 2023. And obviously it was posted yesterday, August 3rd, 2023, Destiny 2's team. My name is Joe, and I'm the game director for Destiny 2. Hi, Joe. Right now, the team and I are heads down on making sure that the final shape and the seasons leading up to it are incredible. Final shape should already be done in your pipeline, though. So when you do things a year out, like Pokemon Worlds, it's not done. Like, you don't just, 6 months prior be like, oh, well, we're going to start doing this. No, Pokemon TCG and, even video games, you, at least have a 6-month buffer. Because you have all your marketing you have to do. You have all your tweaking you need to do. You have all your processing you need to do. All your shipping, logistics, all that stuff, right? Final shape at this point in time, if Bungie is working on a corporate schedule, should already be done. So I don't know why they're saying this specifically, leading into incredible. So the rest of this update, you'll be hearing from a bunch of different voices that have all contributed to this mid-year state of the game. I wanted to start with a quick thanks to all of you who have been playing Destiny for so many years. The way you play and the feedback you give is a huge part of how we shape our plans, and it's an honor to log in each day and play in the universe alongside all of you. I will say here, due to the recent lawsuit that happened in regards to a player harassing Bungie staff, do not do that. We have ways that we can talk to devs. We have ways that we can give attention to issues. If anyone's going to start harassing, if anyone's going to start sending death threats, if anyone's going to start doing that, across the aisle, we should all be coming together to quash that out. That is an important thing going forward that people just need to realize. That's not how you be an adult. Back in February, we covered the state of the game heading to Lightfall and laid out the big goals we set ourselves for Destiny 2 in preparation for the final shape. Then in April, we look back at the lessons learned from the launch and charted a path forward into the first half of Lightfall's year. Today, we're diving into the second half of the year, addressing some of the community's burning questions, updating everyone on our progress against those 4 goals for the year, and previewing some exciting updates as we count the days to our Destiny 2 showcase on August 22nd. I will be watching that, I assure you. As always, we'd like to celebrate their community first and foremost. Okay, this is just building rapport at this point. They've had their intro. They've cited the last time they've done this. Now they're just building rapport with the community. We'd like to celebrate our community first and foremost. We're thankful to see so many players continue to join us through the journey, and it's been amazing to welcome more new lights than we ever expected to Lightfall. Yeah, I mean, according to Bungie, with their statistics, the game is at an all-time high. I would like them to cite that, cite the sources, cite those statistics openly, but I mean, yeah, according to them, the game is more popular than ever. Since the release of the Final Shape teaser trailer in May, Cade 6, the community reactions to Cade 6's upcoming return have been nothing but short of heartwarming, and we can't wait to share more in the showcase later this month. But before all that, let's dig in the game and make sure we're playing right now. This is relevant. Yeah, no, a lot of this is going to be corporate speak. This is, I see how this is formatted. So, addressing feedback, we've been tracking a number of player feedback items over the past few months. I guarantee you I'm probably on a watch list at Bungie who might, ban my account. I've been pretty vocal using that Bungie help tag with a number of bugs I've found. While we've covered some issues recently, including the roadmap for improvements and general stability, that should be first and foremost, it is time for a detailed check-in on our progress in several areas of the game. Cool, neat, I'm ready. That's a lot of nothing to actually get into. Ritual updates. So ritual updates is going to be, your seasonal activities, right? Your Gambit, your Crucible, your Vanguard playlist, right? We've heard plenty of feedback from players that our core ritual playlists should feel more consistently rewarding to play. Absolutely. If anything, didn't Crucible get nerfed to be more grindy recently in the past several seasons, right? And those rewards should drop more frequently. Regardless of the activities you like to play, we agree. I mean, absolutely. I think everyone can get on board with this. I mean, you want to make sure your gameplay loop is fun and entertaining. Let's talk about what we've done so far and what we're doing in Season 22 to achieve this. With Season of the Deep, we've upgraded the weekly ritual challenge rewards to exotic engrams to give everyone consistent source of materials to focus the exact exotic armor they want to run. Yeah, I mean, it works fine, except when Bungie, decides to take it out of the game for a period of time, which they did this season. Season 22, we're looking to updating those weekly ritual challenge requirements so players can complete their 9 challenges in any ritual playlist they'd like. I'm actually for this. I hate Crucible. I can't stand Crucible. A lot of people like Crucible. I can't personally stand it. I'm for this change. This sounds like this could, if implemented well, be a good change. 3 across Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit playlist. Perfectly fine with that. We'll also be increasing the frequency of ritual engram drops after completing ritual activities, and we're making the latest ritual loot pool weapons focusable at their respective vendors at the start of the season for the first time, rather than needing to wait until the following season to chase those god rolls. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to see how they implement that personally. We're loading up our ritual vendors with fresh weapons in Season 22. I'm actually surprised that they haven't added more stuff like this past season. It's been pretty dry in terms of those vendors, like Shaxx, including the Unending Tempest Stasis Submachine Gun in the Crucible, Luna Regolith 3 Solar Sniper and Strikes, Qua Chiffon 5? I actually don't know how that's pronounced. Void Machine Gun in Gambit, Cataract GL3 Strand Grenade Launcher and Trials of Osiris, and more Trials. We're also bringing more fan favorite backs to our ritual playlist, including the Igneous Hammer Solar Hand Cannon in Trials. Yeah, that's going to attract that's going to attract people to Trials, actually. And revamping Warden's Law into a brand new archetype as a Nightfall reward. Really? Interesting. This is how we're making our core rituals more rewarding overall. But what are we doing for each specific area? Let's start with PvP. I know a lot of the PvP players are actually really upset at Anthem right now. They're very, very upset at the attention Anthem has gotten in reference to Destiny 2. So Guardians v Guardians. Thanks to the hard work of multiple teams, we've delivered several additions to PvP in the past few seasons. These include the launch of Competitive Division, multiple new game modes, a revamp of Trials of Osiris, new competitive and Trials rewards, Fireteam matchmaking improvements, new rotator playlist, PvP-specific weapon tuning. Take that out, because that's just... Take that out. That's just expected. Several quality life improvements. That can stay, and more. Okay, I mean, most of this just kind of boils down to a nothing burger of just tweaks. We added an playlist or 2. Matchmaking improvements. Just all these are tweaks. I think that's a little bit of a nothing burger there. However, we know our hardcore PvP players want more maps, fewer cheaters, an ever-evolving meta that feels good to compete in. Absolutely, as anyone should. The fewer cheaters things, I want them to, in this, address why they're banning speedrunners. I need them to address this. Because you cannot have an issue with, or cannot not have an issue with Crucible players cheating and openly cheating and just ban speedrunners. Like there's something going on here. This needs to get addressed. The most frequent feedback we see is that there is just not enough PvP content, specifically new maps. I'm not a PvP player in this game. I'm really not a PvP player. I feel for you PvP players. I do. I want this to be good for you. I want you to be able to go to Crucible and even Trials, right? And the fact that like they had to like take, what was it? They had to take Trials or something down in the past couple weeks because the gun wasn't even dropping from the stupid chest. I don't even know how Trials works. I've never gone flawless. I guess there's a chest at the end, like, and it wasn't dropping the weapon. I'm like, you're kidding me. I refuse to acknowledge Bungie would let that happen. There's no way. There's no way that would happen. To set expectations, our studio structure is built to support more overarching updates to PvP like the ones above, rather than focusing exclusively on maps. When we do focus our resources on building new Crucible maps, it comes off as a trade-off for multiple teams' bandwidth on work that contributes to a variety of experiences that players also hold dear, such as the new exotic mission content, core activities make the foundation of each season, or new destinations. I feel like that's a run-on sentence, personally. They should probably look into their editor a little bit more. That feels like a run-on sentence. I don't know about that. I don't know about this. Similarly, bringing back reprise maps also involves extensive porting of the latest version of Destiny 2, which requires additional resources to ensure the maps work correctly for multiple game modes and playstyles for years to come. But what? Like, we don't... Oh, it's... Effectively, this comes across so far as work too hard. If we want to do maps, that takes away from other teams, and porting is hard, is how that reads to me. Years to come, I doubt it. I mean, years to come, like D1, like D1 years after, quote unquote, right? Is how I kind of look at that, right? With that said, we have some exciting content coming to PvP this month that several teams have brought to life, as well as an update on our advances in game security to combat cheaters. We'll see about that. I'm going to call cap until proven otherwise. Honestly, a preview of upcoming sandbox shakeups. Oh, great, more server load and more details coming next week on how the general PvP sandbox gear and ability balance will evolve. Sure, okay. Season 20, we now have a Vex networked theme map. I'm assuming it's this. Debuting along with the new Relic 6v6 mode, the gunplay-focused checkmate modifier for multiple modes, a new competitive Ascendant Division emblem. I mean, I guess to be fair, the ranked players are getting something, right? And more Relic and more, period. Weird. Relic and Checkmate will both kick off the Crucible Labs throughout the season, so we can gather feedback on how they are received. We'll have more to share in the showcase, but let's dive into a bit more right now. I mean, is it going to have the drops? Because if it has the drops, it might be bad, honestly. I don't know about that. I don't know how to feel about this map. We'll see. We'll see if it actually works. It's no chat saying that rank is getting something new. It's the signs of the end times. Agreed. So, new PvP multiplex. Okay. For our newest PvP battlefield, we wanted to create an asymmetrical map using the Vex environment as a backdrop that could work well for multiple game modes. Okay, fair. I can get behind this. With the Vex network playlist, such a crucial role in the story during Lightfall's year, we felt now was the perfect time to deliver this map. You could have delivered something like this back in Curse of Osiris, and it would have been on theme, right? We could have gotten an Infinite Forest map, right? There's a number of things that could have happened. Although many of us have been, we do have an Infinite Forest, right? Or at least something similar to that, I think. I don't know all the maps in rotation currently. Although many of us have been thinking about a lo-fi Vex map for Crucible, the challenge of this palette was the possible lack of player orientation in the play space. I can see that kinda. We thought bringing the Mars palette into the Vex network realm would be a great way to mitigate this while adding an evocative look. Narratively, this space is in the middle of compiling the Vex Infinite Forest, so this is what you'll see in action. Watch for footage of this new map in the showcase. Okay, so that just goes over their design logic, their logos, right? I don't know how to feel about that, honestly. Just get the people. Well, I'm going to look at the PvP because this is relevant to, I have people who play Destiny 2 PvP when they watch. Checkmate is a modifier where rich primary weapons fights can happen more often, and the gun skill can be augmented with communication and strong positioning. It helps if, voice chat doesn't keep going down, to be fair. I keep getting errors constantly that Destiny 2 voice chat is down. Primary weapon damage has been tuned to feel different than the rest of the game without being jarring, reducing the gap between faster killing weapons and the average time to kill. Okay, sure. In general, pushing longer range primaries into slower killing profiles. Okay, so I feel like SMGs are still going to be the play here. I don't see how this is going to negatively impact SMGs. Player health has been increased, all ability cooldowns are lengthened, and special ammunition must be earned via gameplay and is not dropped on death. Cool. Okay, I can see that. This all results in slightly longer combat encounters that reward skill. I don't see that being a good fix, personally. I don't see it being a good thing. I really don't. I'd have to see proof of concept first. Checkmate will be available in Crucible Labs from week 5 to week 10. Wow. Okay, that's into the season a little bit. We will start off with 2 weeks of Checkmate Control, then switch it up with 2 weeks of Checkmate Survival, and finally, 2 weeks of Checkmate Rumble up to finish its trial run for Season 22. Sure, I guess. It's just saying, hey, we're rotating this in. Relic is a 6v6 party mode where players wreak havoc and destruction on their foes with relic weapons. Relics includes the Aegis from Vault of Glass. Okay, it's the Rolk Encounter 3, all the dammits is how I'm going to word it. It's all those, right? The Snap Spear from Season of the Risen. No, I guess the Spear wasn't in there. Scythe from Season of the Haunted. Each player... okay, I know what they're doing now. Okay. Each player charges their personal relic energy by defeating opponents using the normal loadout. Upon reaching full charge, players can acquire a relic from the relic depot, defeating a relic holder, and using the relic to defeat opponents. Earns point. I feel like this is too many steps. I feel like this is trying to have an ultimate system. No, I feel like this is trying to be like Battlefront in a way. I don't think it's gonna... I don't know. With the movement system of Strand, I could see that doing things. I could theoretically, with the movement system of Strand and a fast-moving system like Destiny has, I could theoretically see this. I think things like Stompies and Grapple are going to be broken in this game mode, potentially. I need to see proof of concept on that. Whereas Checkmate is heavily focused on gunfights, Relic is intended to provide lighthearted gameplay fun that can be enjoyed by anyone. Similar to Mayhem and Team Scorched, Relic will be available in Crucible Labs from week 1 to week 4, and again in week 11 until the close of the season. We look forward to hearing your feedback on both Checkmate and Relic when they roll out next season. I guess they're getting new game modes, right? I guess that's an improvement. Matchmaking improvements, okay, sure. Our quest to constantly improve matchmaking is always ongoing, and in Season 22, we're modifying our loose skill-based matchmaking settings for Control and Iron Banner. Okay, define. These new settings will look to improve matchmaking times and experiences for players who find themselves at upper or lower ends of the skill spectrum, and for those playing in low-population regions or times. Sure. The team is also adding loose fire team matchmaking Crucible rotators, including labs, to ensure players are being evenly matched against similar fire team sizes without the need for freelance mode. Additionally, we are tackling an issue with lobby balancing that can misallocate players over certain skill levels. I mean, so I think part of it is that they're trying to retroactively band-aid fix something because of missing Crucible players. If they had more Crucible players, if Crucible was worth playing, I don't think this would be a necessary tweak they would have to do personally. I think that this is misallocated resources personally. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about this one. I think this is a waste of time. More to come in Season 23. Looking further ahead, we're planning to deliver a new Iron Banner mode for Season 23, along with a brand new Hake Aggressive Frame Strand Pulse Rifle, kind of hot, as our newest competitive division. Oh, it's competitive. Division weapon reward. The Mercurial Overreach Adaptive Frame Arc Sniper Rifle will remain available for competitors throughout Season 22. I hear Mercurial Overreach is actually kind of mid. As a reminder, we're also focusing I'm also PvE, keep that in mind. I'm a PvE player, not a PvP player. As a reminder, we're also focusing on map reprisal efforts and porting the Citadel from 2018 to Crucible in Season 23. We all have fond memories of dominating Control with our fire teams on this one. I can't wait to see what you'll do with the latest arsenal out there in the Dreaming City. I mean, or you could have just not removed the maps. Some of the maps like Titan's still in the game for PvP, right? I mean, I don't know. So in summary, it sounds like this is a big nothing burger for PvP. This doesn't address fast time to kills outside of these game modes. This doesn't address, for example, Rapacious Appetite Immortal. This doesn't address the prelevance of SMGs. This doesn't say anything about Le Monarch, but I'm sure this is going to be something else, right? This doesn't say anything about one-shot weapons, you know. I guess that's more for Gambit, though. Leviathan, potentially up to Xenophage, stuff like that, right? This really just said a lot of nothing to me. We have a new map coming out. We have 2 new game modes coming out. We did a bunch of tweaks in Lightfall, you know, these past couple seasons and this expansion itself, right? So I don't know how to feel about it. I think this is a little bit of a nothing burger. They spent 2 paragraphs explaining Relic. Matchmaking improvements, you know, that should be like terms of priority, like 0, which is game breaking, to 4, which is like that's like a 4 or a 3. They need to get players in to improve the matchmaking so that way people want to play the damn game. And I think that'll fix itself or sort itself out for the most part. The Vanguard playlists are currently in a solid place with a healthy population, and we have more new additions coming up. First up, Vanguard Medals. I think Vanguard's in a decent place right now. I think GMs could be a little nutty. You know, we have Saber, where if you hit one of the Overload champions in the hallway on GMs before it comes out, it can get stuck in the wall and you have to restart the entire strike. So, I mean, there are issues with, you know, Vanguard right now, but other than that, I mean, I do see chat. I am working my best to get through this real quick. Vanguard Medals will be available in Vanguard Ops and Nightfall starting in Season 22. After first being introduced in last year's Guardian games and their continued success in this year's event, we have decided to bring them full-time to spice things up in the Vanguard playlist. Vanguard player, I think this could be a win. I think this could. Medals will contribute to scoring, allowing players to attain higher scores and reputation multipliers by performing unique actions and doing cool things. Our goal here is to reward players for playing well and not require players to go out of their way to grind for score. In short, we don't want you to feel like you have to compromise your build in order to boost your score with additional medals. We're going to get back to that in a second. It's worth noting that some medals will remain Guardian game staples and not available in the Vanguard playlist. That's fair. So do not expect finishers to grant you any medals in Nightfalls. There will be several new medals split from Vanguard playlists when they launch, and you can expect to see a few more in Season 23. Additionally, The selection of active medals will be determined based on the currently active modifiers, such as surges, right, makes sense, to ensure a variety of builds are used for acquiring medals. So that you don't have to compromise your build in order to boost your score with additional medals. I would argue that Bungie has a problem with developing things like Darkblade Kel'Garath GM, right? What's the big one from this season? It's the PsyOps Battleground from this season, this GM, where it is hard as balls. From everyone I've heard about it, the PsyOps one is worse than Darkblade Kel'Garath. They have a huge issue not balancing things. If I were to go into Darkblade Kel'Garath GM, I would not take Solar. I'm a Warlock. I would not take Void. I would be taking Arc. I would not take Stasis. I could potentially take Strand, depending on the efficiency of the build, right? There are certain things that I will not use. If it's, say, Overload champs, right? I don't know what the champs are on GM for Kel'Garath, right? Say it's Overloads, I'm bringing Le Monarch. I'm bringing Thunderlord. If it's Barrier, I'm bringing Quicksilver because we got 8 anti-barrier this round. The issue with their balancing as it scales up, which is hilarious that Bungie got in a tiff with the Activision dev, is that they don't really balance things up to GM. They kind of just copy-paste, but don't understand what things made it possible in the first place. So Kel'Garath, you had your laser dampener, right? You had your I can't remember the other 2 buffs, but you had 2 other buffs that made Kel'Garath in the prior seasons, right, actually doable in certain aspects. So the PsyOps Battlegrounds as well. It's out of hand to me. I think that this is misplaced. I think that while they want to cross as having good intentions, they don't mean it from their design decisions. We also recently focused on more of our team's resources into more varied and frequent seasonal activities, such as Battlegrounds, that can later make their way into Vanguard playlists alongside Strikes and eventually serve as new additions to Lightfall and Grandmaster playlists. Stop that. They need to stop this. They need to stop that. They cannot do this anymore. They are... both of the ones I listed, Darkblade Kel'Garath and PsyOps Battlegrounds, were Battlegrounds. Stop throwing them in the playlist and throwing them in GMs unless you're going to balance them appropriately. You need to stop doing that, Bungie. It's not healthy for the game. It's not healthy for your players. When players are running, what is it, like triple arc resist against Savathûn in the PsyOps Battleground, and they're still getting one shot, you have an issue. There are more back-end strikes than actual strikes. Well, yes, I know there's more Battlegrounds, but at the same time, they need to balance them better. Then they can't just Control-V or Control-C, Control-V that. While this can come at the cost of other content in a given year, we feel this exchange has been worth the extra investment overall health of our players. As a result, we'll have additional Battlegrounds coming to Nightfall and Grandmaster Nightfall rotations Season 22 and 23 to keep players on their toes before the final shape launches. Sure, all I ask is that you balance it appropriately. That's all I care about. I ask that your average high-end player can do this, maybe break in a sweat. So, Gambit, the big one, because I need to see what they're doing with Gambit. As many of you have noticed, we have been quiet on Gambit since last year's overhaul that launched alongside the Witch Queen. In that revamp, the team made significant changes across 5 categories in Gambit: core activity fundamentals, primeval tuning, invasions, ammo economy, and rewards. Unfortunately, these updates didn't move the needle for player engagement. Right, because why are we going to play Gambit? what's the payout, right? Although we know our Gambit fans mostly care about newer returning maps, it's an area of the game with lower engagement that would take resources away from the more popular parts of the game to shore up. To me, this comes across as, well, if you wanted new maps, you should have players. If you want content, you should have players in the playlist. Why don't you have players in the playlist? Why aren't you playing Gambit? If you want Gambit stuff, play Gambit. Creating its own problem. While we don't have plans to dedicate more resources to significantly transform Gambit, we do have a few updates planned for the year in time of final shape. These include porting the Cathedral of Scars map, I don't remember this, its beautiful Dreaming City setting to the latest version of Destiny 2, as well as adding Shadow Legion and Lucent Hive enemy types. Wait a minute, wait. So wait, Gambit's getting like a port? They're getting like a PS3 to PS4 port, effectively, where Crucible's getting a brand new map? Oh my god, okay. Whatever you say, Bungie. No, there's got to be more, right? There's got to be more. Before that, we're making Gambit entirely optional to maximize your rewards. Until you're looking for a piece of gear that's specific to the mode, Gambit will continue to serve as a source of exotic engrams by weekly challenges. Those mentioned above, you will need to complete all your weekly challenges in any ritual like starting in Season 22. If you want to stick to Vanguard or Crucible challenges without touching Gambit, now they've abandoned the game mode. they've abandoned the game mode. Like this solidifies to me they've abandoned the game mode. If you want to stick to Vanguard Crucible challenge changes without touching Gambit, now you can. We're also reducing the number of Gambit-specific seasonal challenges starting in Season 22, so players don't need to bank motes to be able to earn that big purse of Bright Dust for completing nearly every challenge in the season. Finally, we're adding Fireteam matchmaking into Gambit next season, which will replace Freelance mode, and it should result in faster, better matchmaking by combining both Gambit playlists. Okay. We'll keep an eye on the reception and player engagement after those additions take place, and we hope that you'll visit Old Drifter next season to get your hands on his new Void machine gun. I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can actually be bothered. Armor set rewards. A long time ago, we shared a plan, and there's a hyperlink there. I'm not going to delve into that. I'm sure they did. To address concerns on reward balance. Players have pointed out that we didn't release a new armor set for the Ritual playlist, Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit, with Lightfall, as previously called out in our yearly release schedule. Right. If you set precedents, I mean, at face value, Bungie, this is a live service. There is an expectation of content. And if you are going to throw all your precedent out the window, players have a right to be upset. Once again, not defending the people that are going to be throwing harassment at your way, death threats. No, that's not how adults operate. You are throwing out, as you say here, in our yearly release schedule, you are throwing your precedents out. You are creating your own problem. Delivering ritual armor sets at the rates we have been in the past has been increasingly challenging, especially considering these sets have historically had very low adoption by players as both base armor and cosmetic ornaments. But here's the thing. I mean, we still get them. It's part of the price of admission, has it not, for the past how many seasons, past how many expansions, right? Is this not precedent? I mean, someone in chat can absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. And, you know, we did pay $100, not 70 like Witch Queen, $100 for Final Shape to get less than Witch Queen. Do you see how this is creating a problem for your players? At this time, we are amending our delivery plans for how often we refresh these sets and will no longer be creating a new set for every expansion. However, we are prioritizing the delivery of new Ritual Armor set alongside the Final Shape to infuse some looks you'll be able to show off from your time in Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit playlist. Sure. We also have a new armor set for Trials of Osiris releasing in just a few short weeks. These are preview of the Titan armor from the set in Season 22. Looks like Bear. I don't know. I'm sure some Titans are going to have a good time with it. This scroll wheel is being very weird. Game security. This is actually up my alley because of somebody that used to work in a financial institution and work alongside our fraud department, right? And who has, as stated in the beginning of this video, in regards to security of this game, and if I need to request my information from Bungie or not, right? Because of the instability, this is right up my alley. Our security team works to prevent cheaters from ruining the experience for legitimate players, whether that be directly by competitive PvP activities or indirectly boosting, making new burner accounts, bringing them to the end game content like Trials. I mean, yeah, Trials carries are the big one. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm actually surprised Bungie doesn't have a bot on the Bungie LFG, like Bungie.net LFG, because like the amount of times I've gone to Bungie.net LFG and seen like Trials carry, right? And yeah, I'll report that because it's against TOS. But like the fact that they don't have a bot in there, seeing Trials, keyword carry, and they don't flag it for review, that's the one that makes me just cock an eyebrow, if that makes sense. Here are a few things from 2023 that we can share with you about an ongoing mission to protect players from cheaters and enable players to experience the game as its designers intended. So I'm assuming we're going to get to the speedrunning bit then. What has changed in D2 security this year? Over the course of the year, we have invested further in data science and machine learning, building confidence in the detections they produce. These tools allow us to observe and evaluate player behavior in new ways, and issue an increasing number of actions in response. That needs to be fully explained. In addition, we have continued to adapt new policies to protect players, including the abuse of external accessibility tools policy. The development of this policy allows us to catch cheaters that we may not have otherwise. This policy not only gives us an avenue to action this form of cheating, it has also spurred investigate player behavior in new ways. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Finally, we've worked with BattleEye to address network manipulation tools. This is going to be the speedrun. Excuse me, this is going to be the speedrunning. Improving our data collection, detection, and mitigation strategies. Competition is best when fair, so we will continue to issue bans and restrictions to those abusing these methods. Wait, they didn't touch on the speedrunning? What? Bungie, you're kidding me. Can you address some recent actions? As a result of extensive investigations, evolution of tools at our disposal, we were recently able to issue one of the largest ban waves in our history against account recovery and boosting services and the players who use these services. As our toolset evolves, we continue to build in generous thresholds to help minimize the risk of false positives. We consider multiple factors in issuing bans as an additional safety measure to any set threshold. That's just PR. That's just PR. Like, we have tools at our disposal, as our stuff evolves, we continue to build, new things. We continue to have new goal markers for what we consider positive, and we do consider multiple factors in doing that. That's all that says. It's just PR. What's next for this section? What's next for the security of Destiny 2? We will continue to evolve our prevention, detection, and ban hammer capabilities, but these are part of our overall strategy to combat cheating efforts. Our legal team is also aggressively pursuing cheat makers across the globe in an effort to remove the source of cheat software before it's distributed. They have been highly effective in both uncovering cheat makers and bringing litigation against them. Though the preparations and execution of these lawsuits take time and effort to be successful, right? Makes sense. So this will always be an additive approach to our overall anti-cheat efforts as part of our in-game security solutions to remove cheating from our game. One last reminder, as always, we receive countless messages from banned accounts that state they don't remember cheating. When we investigate these cases, we often find that they gave their account to someone else to play the game for them. We can remind everyone that you must protect your account and not use recovery services. Saying that your fingers were not on the key. Saying that your finger's not on the keyboard when the cheating occurred will not help you in an appeal. It differs between different companies, but that's generally a policy that they'll uphold. Stability updates. Dude, are they going to actually explain anything here? I'm only halfway through this. I'm gonna start rapid firing this at this point. Stability of Destiny 2 is a service foundation of the experience. If the game is down or you're getting kicked out of activities, everything else is irrelevant. Yes, correct. Wow, Bungie, you hit that one on the head. Legion provided an update on game stability and the steps were taken to make sure your game's experience was smooth and reliable. Today, we'd like to share more what's been happening behind the scenes, and it's next on our roadmap. 7.5, roll number behind the scenes services, claims, many other services. Grats, you have monitoring software. If you're able to confidently make several early fixes to Play Manager that might otherwise... You know what this strikes me as, chat? You know what this strikes me as? How many of you have seen Kira TV, right? Kira TV, Chronicles of Illyria specifically, Caspian, and his this is build X of this game, and we moved on from build Y of this game to now build X, and this is what we're doing. This feels like this is just, oh, look, we've been doing things. We've, we're working on improvements to, some of our tools. Internal chaos testing. We need to test our crap before it goes out. We've been telling them this for how many years, right? 7.2 focus on detecting and fixing current stability issues. You damn well will. They better. This looks as because they're throwing numbers here, and it makes it look like, oh, well, look, this is our build, right? This is our, this is what we got. This says a lot of nothing to me, and if anything, it just... The fact that they consider this appropriate for a state of the game when there's things that haven't even been addressed in terms of Crucible, Vanguard, Gambit. Gambit was a big load of just nah. GG, bro. That was the Gambit section in a nutshell. Seasonal structure, whatever. Moving on from that above was a load of nothing. Moving on. As we mentioned back in February, we've been working behind the scenes to shake up seasonal paradigms this year to subvert player expectations to make each season feel unique. We know our players are looking at more variety and repeatable season activities, and more than anything, we want to consistently surprise everyone with what comes in each season. Although we'll talk a bit more about this below, you'll see in action in our showcase. We're giving ourselves more freedom to stretch narratively in a gameplay system throughout season 22-23. We hope you'll... Okay, so, hey, we're doing things behind the scenes. We want to change things up, give players a little more variety, in seasonal activities. By the way, you should go watch our showcase, because that's when we're really going to talk about stuff. Okay, thanks, Bungie. Preview what's to come. Before we get into our 6-month progress report on the goals for this year, we want to share some of our previous several quality of life upgrades and core sandbox updates coming into season 22. Some of these are designed to simply make your everyday Destiny 2 experience better. Others should result in substantial meta refreshers with PvP and PvE. Sure? Oh, grats, you're working on content and making content not boring. Grats, Bungie. At our midpoint in Lightfall's year, we would hope some of Destiny subjects along with new content called out. Okay, PR, move on. Hit 100 of your favorite shaders, ornaments. Oh boy. guys, they can't figure out why, you know, they're going down so much for back-end maintenance that kicks you out of raids and dungeons. But oh boy, you can cosmetic favor now. Oh boy. Stasis aspect in Fragments move to vendor system. I mean, the fact that this is this long after is kind of embarrassing personally. Like, the fact that stasis is just now not having you go through LC Bray is kind of rough. Transmats will now be unlocked. Surprised they haven't been this whole time, but personally I use, 1,000 Wings mostly, the Whisper of the Worm ship, the exotic one. I did swap over to the Master Root of Nightmare ship, but I mean, like, this just makes sense personally. Wishender quest has gone through a number of changes throughout the years, and it will becomes a real quest. No more charged or uncharged discs in your inventory. I'm okay with this change, but because Wishender continues to be just an absolute GM staple for anti-barriers. Resource tab added to collections. A resource tab in collections shows all the currencies in the game, properly categorized. What? Who asked for this? Who asked for you to go to resources and currencies? Like, I get this could be a newer player thing, but they're clearly not catering to newer players. They're catering to existing players. But this caters to new players and not existing players. It's a paradox, right? I don't understand this. Like, no one asked for this. I didn't ask for this. Alucard didn't ask for this. No one asked for this. This took away dev time from Gambit getting new content. Just remember that. This takes away content from Crucible getting key updates and rebalancing things like SMGs. Remember that this was important. Iron Banana challenges. Okay. With Pinnacle Awards not being as big of a draw as they once were, season overseen since Season of the Deep began. Because Bungie, I hit 1810 week 2 of Lightfall. Season of Defiance week 2, I hit 1810. We had a man in the first week be like, 1825? Like, once we're done with the grind, it sucks. We want to get to power level and actually run content. And people have noted, actually, that since they didn't have to grind for a new power level cap in Season of the Deep, because it remained 1810, they're like, damn, I have time to do content now. Damn, I actually started raiding. Man, I tried a GM. It's kind of good. It's almost like it's a progress gate that's trivial at this point. Like start of expansion, I get it. Every season, little much. Iron Banner will have 2 different stacking challenges each day, one for players who just want the reputation multiplier, which does not require using specific seasonal subclasses, thank fuck, and for one for players who are going after the Pinnacle rewards, which do require, whatever, it's banana, I don't care. I don't care. Ritual rank ups immediately. Dating all the way back to Season 3, Ritual Reputations, previously known as Valor, Glory, and Infamy, waited until you hit Orbit to process any rank ups, because the almost full-screen banner could overwrite the scoreboard if showed up earlier. We revamped and streamlined Reputations of the past few years. We've moved the rank-up banner to the bottom of the screen and made them less conspicuous. We were left processing the ranks until you hit Orbit. Now we've finally taken the step and made the rank-up process immediately end of activity. No more waiting on rewards. Who asked for this? Who asked for them to resize the rank-up banner? Destiny 2 PvP players, I feel for you. It's bad. Sandbox. Okay, Strand aspects. We knew we were getting them. 3 new aspects. Weave Walk. I guarantee they better buff the Broodlings. Like, there's no way. Hunter's probably still going to be one of the best. I do like Titans all. I think Warlock is probably the worst. Stay tuned as we get close to the launch of the season. Sure. Okay, we still know nothing of the next season from my understanding. Well, I'm sorry. People did ask. That one was asked for like 3 years ago. Okay. So that shows how far their backlog of fixes is then, if anything. Exotic armor reworks too. Okay. Similar to our first wave exotic revamps in Season of the Deep, the team is reworking another batch of underused exotic armor pieces in Season 22 to shake things up and give players a new reason to dive into their vaults. Watch for new developer insights are going live next. Oh my god. Most of this is just advertising other things. Go watch our showcase for Final Shape. Go watch our new developer insight. What are you actually going to explain, Bungie? This is like... it's probably not the worst state of the game I've read from a game, but it's still just like... This boggles the mind how... Because here's the thing, Bungie just can't put this out. It's not like a dev from Bungie or a manager at Bungie went on Twitter and made this post. This went through channels. This went through probably PR. This went through probably HR. This went through legal. This went through probably marketing, honestly. This went through higher management. I don't know if execs necessarily got their eyes on this. This went through multiple waves of we need to make this, we need to QA this and get this out. This is a state of this is a state of the game of all time. Wow. Subfamilies income. Looking forward to the future. We'll be introducing entirely new weapon subfamilies with the final shape. Tune in the showcase on 22nd to get your first look in the action, as well as some unexpected additions to D2's arsenal yet to come. Sure. I mean, to be fair, we haven't had a new subclass since like what, Glaive? I don't know. It's whatever to me. Weapon tuning. If you didn't catch our mid-season weapon tuning update, didn't care. Don't ask, didn't care. Mauled Seethe Cope L+ ratio, the Badger clip. You might not know what we have. You might know that we have a substantial shakeup coming to the weapon sandbox 22 in form of decoupling damage fall off from range. We have shared some more details in the upcoming weapon balance update article, but for now, high-level goals are reduce weapon variance between the optimal engagement ranges of our mid-range weapons, autos, pulse, and hand cannons. Okay. So they want to make it more inline, it sounds like. They want to reduce that variance. Sure. Slightly reduce the average engagement range in Crucible by pulling in the maximum damage fall-off distances of many weapons. There's your SMG. But is it going to work is the question. That's the million-dollar question. To do this, the highest achievable damage fall-off range in almost all weapons is reduced to some extent, with certain weapons being reduced more than others, and then in many cases, the lower edge of the damage fall-off ranges will be coming up. Keep in mind, even with their damage fall-off short start values being similar, weapons will perform differently once the damage fall-off begins, as they currently do in live game. Rifle-style weapons will experience fall-off more gradually, while handheld ones will experience it more quickly, but the differences should be much less extreme. I mean, to be fair, if you have stability, right? Stability and handling on, like, Immortal, right? Do you necessarily need the range? To be fair. No, because of rangefinder. Alucard brings up a good point. We also have hand-tuned a small list of exotic special weapons with the intent of keeping them near where they are in the live game, as opposed to allowing them to receive outsized buffs and nerfs with overarching changes. We'll share all that info. Okay. Whatever. Once again, hey, we're not explaining shit here. Let's move on. A lot of other things to look for in Season 22. This is not a comprehensive, just wanted to give you a sneak peek. Hand cannons will see increased reload speeds and PvE damage buffs against minor and major enemies. Whatever, sure. Sword full power heavy attacks will be usable in any non-zero amount of sword energy. Okay, makes sense. And Sword Guard is being buffed in several areas. Maybe it'll be enough. I don't know. Touch of Malice is getting some tweaks I think players will enjoy. Touch of Malice does need some love. Perks such as Bipod, Envious, and Under Over will be much more useful in Season 20. Bipod is awful. Oh, hey, you have like, what, double the ammo? Oh, by the way, it's like a 40% damage reduction. Get that shit out of here. Goals for the year. Oh, God, we're almost to the end. It's fine. 6 months ago, we laid our plan to achieve forming goals of Destiny 2 and previous state of the game, expand players' imaginations, bring challenge back to Destiny. I mean, you can say you did that. Neomuna sucks. Neomuna is certainly challenging, especially on launch when you're getting one-shot by Threshers. Like, Jesus. Sure, enrich our content. I'd say you failed on that point, personally. Connect our Guardians. Wait. There's no way. I need to read this because this is going to be funny if not. If this isn't here. And connect our Guardians. Sure, I guess, maybe. When Lightfall and its first 2 seasons under our belts, and the launch of Season 22 and our showcase just around the corner, we'd like to take a moment to catch everyone up on how far we've come with these goals. We're going over here. There's no way. Think of it as our Destiny 2 scorecard for... Dude, there's no way. Chat, did you catch what they missed here? There's no way that this passed QA. There's no way. Here, I'm going to read this for you. Tell me what it's missing. We laid out our plan to achieve 4 main goals in Destiny 2 in our previous state of the game. Expand players' imaginations. Well, I guess technically that's 4, yeah. Expand, bring challenge, enrich, and connect. Honestly, the expand didn't even feel like it was part of these 3. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, they failed on the imaginations. They did the challenge. Neomuna sucks. Content's not enriched. If anything, it's boring, dull, trivial. Looking at you, Kelgarath. Connect our Guardians. I mean, if they're referring to deep dives, I'd say they failed at that point. because you're going to get a mixed bag every time you go into deep dives. You get the players that want to go for the bonus crap. You're going to get players that don't want to go for the bonus crap. Inherently, you're going to be running into conflicts of interest consistently. Kondo's put in the dirt. Yeah, it's expand. Yeah, please tell me how you. No. Chat. See, they did it. They did it. See, Asa expanded our imagination. See, technically, they fulfilled their promise because of the fish. Transform many ways players typically interact with the game, from core systems, build crafting overhauls, to streamlining seasonal currencies, right? I don't know why that's an imagination bit, but sure, I guess. With Season of the Deep, we replaced the typical vendor upgrade model and introduced a new deep dive activity. Dude, no way! It is deep dive and pressure trials. No way! Bungo, if you're using that as a selling point, man, I got something to tell you. Because it ain't good. Which represents fresh experiments in Destiny 2 that we believe are worth investing. Well, there's always room for us to revise and improve. Damn straight there is. The community's response reinforced that we are on the right track with norm-breaking efforts like these, and we're rolling out something very new and different in Season 23. Sure, whatever you say. Without spoiling ahead of the showcase. Oh, hey, by the way, look at the showcase. Hey, look at the showcase. I know this is the state of the game. Look at the showcase. Thanks, Bungie. I'm pretty sure I should look at the showcase. Fuck. Overall narrative seems like we're focused on ensuring the connective tissue with our storytelling between 20 and 23 and Final Shape was more impactful than last year's seasons, leading up to Lightfall. We're taking the feedback to heart. No, you're not. And leading us through the important moments designed to capture players' imaginations and move with Saga forward with each beat. We already proven this that in Season of the Deep with the revelations of the Witness's origins. I actually didn't like that. I'm probably in the minority of people. I think the Witness got worse after his origin reveal, personally. I don't like that he's just like the collective coalescence of an entire species. I liked it better when he was this paracausal force to be reckoned with. When his origins, substantial lore drops throughout the season in Neomuna, and the implications of where our Guardians go from here after the final mission's cutscene. What? Excuse you, what? Is this season, or are they talking about Lightfall? Calluses? Oh, right. They're talking about the stupid Dorito portal. Okay. I feel like this is a potential lore drop. No. Okay, no. It's just English weird, and the implications of where our Guardians go, as in where they travel, how they move on from here, not where Guardians go after the. That was a really weird sentence to wrap my head around for some reason. That was really weirdly edited. We know that there are some who would have preferred to experience these stories through Lightfall's campaign. With those players in mind, we believe the totality of this year's narratives will set the stage for Final Shape in ways that a single story beat never could. And to put concerns to rest right now, listening, bold, the Final Shape and its raid will provide a climactic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga before we look ahead to what comes next for Destiny 2. I need people to screenshot that, clip it, whatever. We need to hold Bungie to this. If that raid flops, if Final Shape does not, we need to hold them accountable. That's not a threat. That's a, look, at that point, they are saying this boldly enough that legal teams could potentially get involved. This could open them up to liability. Bring back challenge to Destiny. Although we were a bit uneven at the start of the year, oh boy, Threshers, we feel we achieved the goal after making additional tweaks based on general feedback of Lightfall's launch. While enemies in Neomuna still pack a punch regardless of your level, players have been able to steadily climb in power, taking more difficult challenges. They have had a tough time earlier in the year due to the absence of power level cap increase in Season of the Deep. Mate, nobody likes Neomuna. I want to meet someone who likes Neomuna, and I just want to understand why they just getting absolutely railed by Cabal. I just need to understand this. Following the success of these changes, we're confirming today that we. So, and here's the thing: I run Master Nezarec. I've done Master Nezarec planets. I get what it's like to get dicked on by Cabal. There's a difference between Master Ron and Neomuna, and Neomuna is not fun. Following the success of these changes, we are confirming today that, quote, we also won't be raising the power level cap in Season 22. Screenshot that, snippet that, whatever you need. We've seen a ton of positive feedback on this decision. Players who appreciate being able to play at their own pace rather than feeling compelled to chase pinnacles each week. Of course, we'll still have plenty of activities where power is crucial, including Master Raid and Dungeon content, Legend of Master Nightfalls, Grandmasters, Legend of Master Soul, Lost Sectors, Trials of Osiris. Still the case throughout Season 20. Our back will be important as ever. So here's the thing. If Bungie keeps it at 1810 for the rest of the year, I will be happy. Because at that point, I don't have to chase stupid pinnacles. That is the biggest thing. That is I can't stand that shit. If they keep it. And the thing, you have people like me who will week 2 get to light cap in an expansion. You'll have people it takes them maybe 2 seasons to get to light cap. Everyone is equally just as valid here. They really are. If you're a slow player, if you're a fast player, if you burn through the season pass in a week, if you burn through the season pass in the full 90-day period. However way you play is valid. I personally like hitting light cap, so I don't have anything stopping me from doing GMs and raids. That's my thing. That's me personally. You may play the game in a different way. For those craving tougher challenges, we raised the... Oh my god. Raised the bar on GM Nightfall difficulty this season with our first PsyOps Battleground GM. Yeah, 2. Oh my god. Which will make an additional appearance... Which will make an additional appearance for the end of the season for those who didn't get a chance to take it on the first time. Yeah, if you didn't want to get dicked down by, Savathun Lightning on GM, where 3 arc resistors could still get you one shot, sure, have at it, I guess. Yeah, go for it. Get that D2 CBT in. Wow. Oh god, we'll continue to monitor feedback as we add more Battlegrounds to the Vanguard Nightfall and GM schedule later in Nightfall. You can tell I'm not happy with the state of certain GMs. Enrich our content based on feedback throughout the year of the Witch Queen. New players wanted more exotic missions that community would need to discover on their own. We heard the request from longtime players for the return of previously released exotic missions that the team absolutely loved creating, and we want to answer the call. I like bring Presage back. I want people to... I was really upset that I learned Legendary 0 Hour and had to get with a group that could read the Siva vault, right? And I got my Outbreak Perfected Catalyst the legit way. And they just, the next season, after they sunset at season 14, right? Going to season 14, right? It was season of the hunt, I think. And they just started giving people out the Outbreak Perfected Catalyst. I was fuming. I can't, yeah, bring back Trevor, bring back Presage, bring back all those missions. I mean, I get story-wise you want to take them out of the game, but just leave them in. This season of Defiance, we delivered the Avalon exotic mission with Excalibur as its prize for those who discover the path into the Vex network. Season of the Deep brought the Whetstone exotic mission to deep divers in search of the new Wicked Implement Scout Rifle and its catalyst. I still haven't done this. I need to do that. In just a few weeks, we're bringing back some of the best Destiny 2 content we've ever with our new exotic mission rotator. Okay, perfect. Rotation will kick off with Presage and offer a new avenue for players to earn Dead Man's Tale, craftable allegedly, which will also be craftable. Oh, there it is. For the first time after that, Vox Obscura, I have no idea what that is. And Operation. Seraph Shield will join the rotation, offering up their respective craftable exotic weapons and the catalyst as well. We'll have more details on what else to expect from the exotic mission rotator in the upcoming this week in Destiny Blood. So I want Whisper to come back, actually. I would love Whisper to come back in Modernity. Recap PvP front, we're delivering season 22. God, this is thick. To recap the PvP front, we're delivering the season 22 content, as we mentioned above, including a brand new multiplex map. Wow, you're really stretching for content. New Relic game mode, Checkmate game mode modifier, new Combatant Senate Division emblem, and a slick new Trials of Osiris armor set, in addition to the new and returning weapons coming into Crucible, Banner, and Trials. We'll also have new sandbox overhauls, exotic armor upgrades, and weapons tuning changes to keep the meta fresh alongside new ways to play PvP and seasonal. Sure, I get it. You're going to support the game mode. That's a lot of words. Pathfinder, we call back to our February that we were initially targeting with more changes to ritual content in the final season of the year. While we have made the recent decision to push this initiative to final shape, we have plans to replace some boundaries with a more rewarding and engaging system totally called the Pathfinder. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be debuted on the new destination in the final shape, and we're currently nailing down a plan for how we can use the new system to replace core ritual boundaries in the year. For now, it's work in progress. I don't know about this, man. If you're going to add new systems, I don't know, as long as it's easily understandable. Don't add multiple steps, right? Connect Our Guardians. Gameplay systems and quality of life features we added to Lightfall made Destiny 2 the most welcome it's ever been for new returning players, and we're doubling down as we head into... Whoa, I need some citation on that, Bungie. Like, I've had new players just like, nah, this game sucks. Whoa. Season 2 will include new ways to experience key in-game moments in Destiny 2's history to help get millions of Guardians caught up for the confrontation of the Witness. In Season 23, our upcoming Fire Team LFG feature will be the silver bullet for players who've never had a full Fire Team to run in-game content before, including raids, dungeon, master level, and more. And in the final shape, we're making big changes to the progressional system that will help connect even more players and remove barriers, keeping friends from taking on the same content together. More fun on that showcase. Isn't that the one where it's like 1 to 100 and they're going to streamline that? The features listed above combined with everything we're about to show on August 22nd and everything yet to come will create the best gameplay experience for the widest possible audience that Destiny 2 has ever seen. The final shape is incredibly special to us as the culmination of Destiny's first decade, and we're committed to making it just as special for all our players worldwide and showdown with as the Witness approaches. Thanks again for taking time to read this. Today was just based on what we have in store, so if you don't run in the tower before then, I hope to see you at the chat and showcase. I will be at the showcase, Joe. I will be. I don't know why it kicked me out of there. A lot of nothing was said. A lot of nothing was said in that, and that's depressing. A lot of nothing was said. There was... I'm at a loss for words, actually. I think that this should be a case study for State of the Games. Good and or bad, right? Like, this should be a case study for how not to do a State of the Game, in my opinion. What did we learn? Like, we have Crucible content coming. We've been tweaking Crucible. We've been doing this. We've been, showcasing, we're showcasing this new map, and where we want to deal with damage fall off between handheld weapons and rifle variants, right? Okay. Sure. What about cheating? Oh, well, we are working in cheating, and we're getting new tools all the time. Okay. So, like... Are you going to give us a guarantee, like, we're not going to have issues with, like, Trials not giving the end weapon again? Oh, but we're making our competitive scene, we're making our competitive bracket, we're adding new playlists, we got 2 new game modes coming next season. Gambit was effectively getbent.txt. That was Gambit. I kind of found that funny, actually. And I'm really sorry for the Gambit players. Like, that was a getbent.txt. Vanguard, cool. Medals could be cool. As long as medals don't have the deep dive function where certain people want to do them and certain people don't want to do them and it affects your score, right? God, I honestly just blurred a lot of that. That was one of the State of the Games of all time. And I don't blame the devs. I don't blame the devs at all. That is an upper management and an executive thing. And just get it fixed. That's all I got on that for you guys. That is... Oof.